This is Fox 49 News at 6:30.
Well, a judge rules Missouri's ban on gender-affirming care for minors can take effect. Thanks for joining us here on this Friday night. I'm Mike Landis. Lauren's off tonight. The families of transgender children sued to overturn that law that was recently passed after arguments from both sides ended in a Greene County courtroom yesterday. The circuit judge in the case ruled to not block the bill after all. So that means starting Monday, minors can no longer receive gender-affirming treatments or procedures in the state. However, if minors were taking puberty blockers or hormones before August 28th, they will be allowed to continue those. Going forward, no additional minors will have access to those medications. Well, for adults, Medicaid will no longer cover those treatments, and the state will no longer be providing surgeries to state prisoners. Missouri Attorney General Andrew Bailey said Missouri is the first state in the nation to successfully defend at the trial court level a law barring what he calls child mutilation. It said from day one as Attorney General that I will fight to ensure that Missouri is the safest state in the nation for children. This is a huge step in that direction. Meantime, advocacy groups for the LGBT+ community fear these kinds of laws will put an already vulnerable population at further risk. One of those organizations, Promo, had this to say: "We're enraged. Not only has our government and elected officials failed us, but now our justice system has failed to do us in its job in protecting the most vulnerable of our population." The courts told the trans community that parents of gender-expansive youth and the entire LGBT+ community that we do not exist, that we do not have the right to make our own medical decisions. And turning now to our Fox 49 forecast, still a very warm evening out there for the people at the football games, parents, the students waiting a little bit later, hopefully with that sun going down, make it a little.
A lot of those football games got delayed a bit because there's concerns about the heat, and it's still going to be hot, even at 8 p.m., even at
still
9
warm,
p.m.
Yeah.
And taking a look at satellite radar right now, not only is it hot, but we also have a very active atmosphere going on where we have a lot of scattered pop-up thunderstorms that are happening, mostly to the east of Highway 65, where we seem to see the most activity. A few of these cells, especially the one over Texas County, has been producing some marble-sized hail, but thankfully we're not expecting anything too severe with this system. And actually, this just popped up we have a severe warning. Well, this is new to me, the severe thunderstorm warning that just popped up in Stockton. I'll make sure to look into this some more, have more details after the break on this system that's been going on. But game of the week, we're talking about earlier with Mike, where we're having that football game, and the highlight game of the week that we're going to be talking about right now is going to be the game versus the Nixa Eagles and the Webb City Cardinals. Kickoff, it's going to be a warm, humid one in the mid-80s. And then when we get into tomorrow, we're going to start that cool-off process where we have some chances of stray showers that are going to be occurring in the morning. And look at those temperatures. It's going to reach into the kind of low 90s. But once we've been experiencing temperatures in the triple digits, I'll take low 90s all day long. Mike?
All right, sounds good, Matt. And along those lines, of course, high school football kicking off tonight at schools across the Ozarks. Of course, it's a fall staple of life around these areas, but tonight feels more like the middle of summer. Fox 49's Parker Padgett is live tonight in Nixa after speaking with schools about how the heat is impacting Friday night lights. Parker?
Yeah, typically we'd be about a half hour from kickoff, but kind of what Matt touched on, the start times have been pushed to 8 o'clock. Now, I spoke with several schools about how they determine playable conditions and ensure safety for all those involved. Before Friday night football kicks off, decisions have to be made. With the heat roasting the Ozarks, one temperature reading will dictate when games begin, if at all.
Wet bulb.
Wet bulb.
Wet bulb. The wet bulb globe temperature is measured through a handheld device, and there's equations that kind of go into it as well, but it takes into effect ambient temperature, wind speed, cloud cover, the angle of the sun, and it's all done in direct sun versus heat indexes taken in the shade. If the results are too high,
we don't have to have every game in on a Friday night. So if the weather deemed it at 9 o'clock, it was still above a 90 wet bulb reading, we won't play.
So if it gives about 92, it's shut down. We wouldn't continue the game. There'd have to be a postponement, or we wouldn't start the game on time, whatever time that might happen.
Football isn't the only sport being impacted by the heat.
We were supposed to have a soccer jamboree Monday evening, so we ended up canceling our jamboree on Monday night.
School districts and athletic trainers are taking extra precautions tonight for players and fans.
On the sideline, we will have those increased water breaks, like I said, but then there will also be available water with a dunk tank. So if we have to immerse a kid, we have that on our sideline. So if we needed to, they're exerting or they're showing signs of exertional heat stroke, we have the ability to cool them down immediately, rapidly.
We originally had a community tailgate set for tonight, but we've moved that back 2 weeks. Just so that it can, one, be an enjoyable experience, but two, we don't want people sitting out in the sun for a long period of time with as hot as it's been.
You can catch highlights from several local games here in the Ozarks tonight on First and 10 here on Fox 49 at 9:30.
All right, thank you, Parker. And we actually are covering schools all across the Ozarks tonight. Joshua Pineda at the football stadium in Camdenton. And Joshua, how are things going up there in the Lake of the Ozarks region tonight?
Yeah, Mike, I'm here at Bob Shore Stadium where the Camdenton Lakers are set to square off against the Rolla Bulldogs tonight at 8 p.m. The game got pushed back an hour just because of how hot it is, and it sure feels hot and steamy out here. But that should give folks plenty of time to come fill out the stands for the first Friday night football game of the season. And that's not the only first thing that's happening here in the Laker program. Coach Parr Pitts will be taking over the reins as the head coach for the Lakers because for the first time in 57 years, somebody not named Shore will be coaching the boys on the sideline. But Coach Parr Pitts is no stranger to the Lakers program. He's won a state championship with them as a player back in the 80s, and now he gets to try and do the exact same thing, but this time as a head coach. And I will bring you highlights and updates from that game when it kicks off here in just about 90 minutes. We have Chris Pinson and Nixa, where the Nixa Eagles are set to square off against the Webb City Cardinals. But I will be here bringing you updates and highlights from the game when it kicks off at 8 p.m. Reporting in Camdenton, I'm Joshua Pineda, Fox 49.
Well, thank you, Joshua. We'll see you in a couple of hours. The search is over for a man accused of stabbing his mother in Branson. Police there sent a K-9 unit out overnight to track down the suspect. They finally found him and took him to jail. They say he stabbed his mother in the arm and she is expected to recover. A motorcycle crash claims the life of a man from Camdenton. Troopers saying Dennis Harmon was driving east on US 54 last night. That's when he ran off of the highway, hit a cable barrier that was a guard along the way, and was thrown off the bike. He was taken to the hospital where he later died of his injuries. Well, it's the first mugshot of a president in U.S. history. Former President Trump scowling in his booking photo that was taken yesterday at the Fulton County Jail when he surrendered. Steve Harrigan is in Atlanta tonight with the latest on what's next.
This is a powerful image. It thrills some and it appalls others.
The image that everyone is talking about, the mugshot of former President Donald Trump. Trump surrendering at the Fulton County Jail Thursday, booked on 13 charges related to alleged attempts to overturn the results of the 2020 election.
You should be able to challenge an election. I thought the election was a rigged election, a stolen election.
After being assigned an inmate number, he was released on $200,000 bond.
I believe he's innocent. I will stand before my president.
It shows that even if you have all this money and all the power and you're the most powerful person in the United States, you are not above the law and you are not above consequences.
This is the fourth indictment the former president has faced, and many Republicans seem to agree with Trump's allegations the charges are politically motivated.
I think it's a sad day in America. I think it's disgraceful. I mean, the idea that we're seeing a mugshot of a 77-year-old former president, I mean, how did we get to this point?
The district attorney in Fulton County proposing a trial start date of October 23rd for all 19 defendants. But the judge has only granted that trial date for just one co-defendant so far.
Certainly, if you're asking for a speedy trial, you're going to get one. Most of the defendants, I think, are not eager to do that because this is a massive case and they've got to work through this evidence.
Next up legally will be the arraignment, likely sometime in September. That's when all 19 defendants will have a chance to be formally charged and make their plea. In Atlanta, Steve Harrigan, Fox News.
Back here at home, some firefighters in Fair Grove responded to an ATV accident this month, only to realize the injured rider was one of their own. Justin Stanley, a volunteer firefighter, faces a long road to recovery now. Fox 49's Carissa Codell spoke with his coworkers earlier today about the shocking discovery made during that call.
Thankful for the person who stopped by and saw him in the ditch, because if they hadn't stopped, I don't think he would be here with us. I don't know who that person is, but I'm very thankful for them.
On August 15th, the Fairgrove Fire Protection District responded to a severe ATV crash near Route AA. There, they found firefighter Justin Stanley on the other side of an emergency. Stanley was riding his ATV at home alone when he was thrown off. He suffered an open book fracture to his pelvis and broke several ribs. Now he's wheelchair bound for at least 12 weeks.
I would think that, little visits and stop bys.
I think what he's trying to say is that, as time progresses, those continuous outreaches from family and friends and stopping by and, hanging out for a little bit.
There's a job to do, but there is the extra emotional level that you have to overcome whenever it's somebody that you know so well. He just really enjoys life. Anywhere he can be that will make a difference is generally where he wants to be.
And that was Carissa Codell reporting for us tonight. A family and friends are raising support to help the family in their time of need. We've got more details about that on ozarksfirst.com. Taking a live look now over the skies of Springfield here at 6:40. It is still a very warm one out there. Sitting at 93 degrees, but feels closer to 103 with that heat index out there, which is why so many schools out there are delaying their football games tonight. Matt is up next with our full weekend forecast. Stay with us.
You're watching Fox 49 News at 6:30 with Mike Landis, Lauren Barnes, and weather with Chief Meteorologist Jamie Warner.